know, there was a new update in the game yesterday. I'm sure you've already seen a million videos about it, but in this video, we'll dive into all the secrets in this update and talk about the things no one else is mentioning. So let's not wait any longer and jump right in. To start, I want to point out that your game might not have updated yet on the regular servers. As you can see, when I log into the game, it initially loads the familiar old Halloween location. So if you still see anything left over from the Halloween update, it means your game hasn't updated yet. However, if the game doesn't update on the regular servers, it might update on the free play servers. That's why I'm going to switch over there to show you everything in this update. Oh, and here's another way to check if your game is updated. These little numbers at the bottom corner. If we zoom in, you'll see my version is 1.5.4.0, and this is the version we're working with. If your version is lower, you'll need to wait a little longer for the update to roll out. Alright, I think I've covered all the important stuff. Let's dive into the update. First things first, as soon as you log into the game, you'll notice a brand new logo. This will now be the main logo moving forward. We also get a quick glimpse of what's been updated in the game, but trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Stick around because I'll show you everything else that's changed. First up, the free wings have been completely reworked. Here's how they looked before. Cute, but a little cheap looking. Honestly, I never used them. Now they're much more detailed and look so much more anatomically accurate. I don't know how else to explain it, but I hope you get what I mean. Plus, they now have a second toggle that makes them smaller. For me, they give off major fairy vibes, like something straight out of a Tinker Bell movie. What do you think? But that's definitely not the only change in this part of the map. The layout of items has been completely rearranged. Since the Halloween update is over, the stand that used to be in the middle of the map is now gone. Don't worry, though, this doesn't mean all the items have disappeared. They've just been moved to different spots. To make sure you don't get lost during a round when you need one of these items, we'll explore the entire map together. I'll show you exactly where to find everything that's been relocated. Right here in this decoration section, we can already see some changes. The pumpkin and that little bell have been placed on the top shelf on the right side. To help you navigate better, everything on the right side is stuff you can wear on your body, hold in your hands, or place on your shoulders. Meanwhile, on the left side, you'll find everything for your head, neck, and ears. The only exception is belly button piercings. Got it, let's keep going. Because honestly, I don't see the point in showing every single item and explaining its exact location in words. Let's move on to the section where most of the tops are located. Here, we notice a few changes, and not just related to the Halloween update. First of all, the silk top has been moved to this area and is now placed next to the off-shoulder sweater. Additionally, its color has been changed for some reason. It used to be a deep purple, but now it's a pastel turquoise. Interestingly, when you first put it on, it still shows as purple on the color wheel. The same thing happened with the sweater next to it. It used to be brown, but now it's white. However, just like the silk top, it still appears brown on the color wheel when you wear it. Maybe they did this for a more visually appealing display. Staying close to this area, we can also see that the dressing rooms are still in the game, despite earlier rumors about their removal. It seems likely that this change will only happen with the winter update, as no other updates are planned before then. Moving into the main hall, the first thing we notice is that the Halloween items stand has disappeared, just as I mentioned earlier. Luckily, most of the items haven't been moved too far, so everything is still easily accessible and right at our fingertips. On the far right, we see two dresses displayed on mannequins, complete with the accessories they originally came with. It's quite odd that these accessories weren't moved to the main accessories section. Perhaps the decoration section couldn't fit any more items. In the center, we don't have any Halloween accessories, but there's suspiciously a lot of empty space. Perhaps something will be returning soon. Keep an eye out for updates. Next, we see even more Halloween items, like this shirt with a bow tie, and at the top, we spot werewolf ears. On the lower shelf, there's a hooded cape and a balaclava nearby. The arrangement might seem a bit inconvenient right now, but if you've watched my past videos, you know that in the future, possibly even with the winter update, a complete map overhaul might be coming. As Amei, the lead manager, mentioned, things will be reorganized in a more convenient way, with items divided into clear categories. But let's move on and turn to the men's section. Of course, fewer changes have occurred here, but what we're really curious about is where the other update items ended up. Logically, you'd expect the men's items to be in the men's section, so it's no surprise that this suit with silk pants, the shirt with a bolero and vest, and of course, the matching pointed hat are located here. Right next to them, we have the jumpsuit and this little beret or whatever it's called. Next to the summer collection stand, we have this bouquet, and right beside it, there's quite a bit of empty space. Most likely, it's just a small detail, but I really hope the removed items make a comeback soon. Let's quickly go through the VIP section because I'm super excited to tell you about the other updates too. Everything here is much simpler since almost all the items stayed in their original spots. Of course, it's mostly clothing, but there are also a few accessories. If you're looking for the witch's broom, it's located on the other side, right here. If we move further, on the same side, you'll spot the sword and this belt with potions. I also forgot to mention this cape right here, along with the pirate hat placed on top. Let's move on to the other updates that aren't related to the map. If you're a fan of custom makeup, we've got some exciting news. Now we have these new eyes featuring a white highlighter in the inner corners and unusually small pupils, which is quite uncommon for Dress to Impress. We also have two new face contouring options. On my current skin tone, they look a bit odd, so let's quickly adjust the color to something more fitting and then move on. Now this looks much better. The contourings are pretty standard. The only difference is that they have softer lines and are more blended. As you can see, in the contourings below, the blush line is more defined, while here it's much more smoky and subtle. And now, the happiest part of the update. The hot dog costume is back. It's still located in the plant near the entrance to VIP. Now there are two costumes here, the hot dog costume and the cupcake costume. It's the same costume, but now the wheel is not available, and as you can see, a few rows of colors are missing from the palette. However, you can still customize it using patterns, and fortunately, all parts of the costume can still be painted. Here's an example of how the standard palette looks for all other items. And lastly for today, the free play location now looks like winter has arrived. The grass is covered with snow, and the trees are frosted. All the spooky decorations are gone, and only one grave remains. Everything has become just beautiful, with no hint of Halloween anymore. And lastly for today, if you didn't purchase the Halloween Pose Pack, Fantasy Pose Pack, Editorial Pose Pack, or Sci-Fi Pose Pack earlier,